Hello and welcome to In the Kitchen with Mary Mac. Today we're going to talk about Roni Rolls, or Pepperoni Rolls as they're also known, a very popular item in western Pennsylvania, eastern Ohio, and West Virginia. So I did a little research this week to find out about where they came from after being asked by one of our loyal listeners, Lori Lechner, hey, where do pepperoni rolls come from? Because nobody's ever heard of them in South Carolina. And I said, well, nobody's ever heard of them mostly anywhere because they're very, very regional. They are mainly found in what we know as the Rust Belt or Appalachia, this part of the country that runs from West Virginia straight up through Pittsburgh, up the Ohio River Valley, and up into Cleveland. So along that route, you will find Roni Rolls, but not many other places, okay? Now, here's what I found out about the pepperoni rolls in West Virginia. Originally, the first time they were actually sold to the public, sold, I mean not made, but sold, was by a baker named Giuseppe Argiro of Fairmont, West Virginia, and he had the Country Club Bakery in Fairmont. So he had an idea of baking sticks of pepperoni into a bit of bread like about the size of a sausage roll, and he put them in there and baked them, and then sold them to coal miners because it was something they could take into into the mine, not the wine. You might want to have wine with your Roni roll, but I don't think they would allow that in the coal mines. So anyway, they could take that pepperoni roll with them to work. It didn't have to be refrigerated, didn't have to be heated up. It was already baked, self-contained lunch that they could just open up and eat really easily. So they were very successful and very popular to the extent that other bakeries started also making them. Now the pepperoni rolls that you'll find, what they call the original pepperoni rolls in West Virginia, are basically a stick of pepperoni still baked into about a bun-sized piece of bread. Some people put cheese in them and some do not. Here, now Fairmont is about an hour south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So in the Pittsburgh region, you'll find some pepperoni rolls, but they're very, very popular in the Newcastle, Pennsylvania, Youngstown, Ohio area, where they're everywhere. I mean, good grief. Fundraisers, kids sell them for fundraisers. You can get them just about any pizza shop, any Italian restaurant, anywhere has pepperoni rolls. They're just very, very popular. I've not seen them in a ton of places in the city of Pittsburgh, but I know you can get them there. And then they extend out into all the little communities. You can get them at gas stations, convenience stores, bakeries, pizza shops, and places like that where you might be running in to get a quick meal. So they're such a popular thing in this area. It's really funny when people move away. One of the things they ask for is if you could send them some pepperoni rolls. I have mailed a lot of pepperoni rolls all over the country. And so I know that this is true and a very popular treat still. Pepperoni rolls are pretty simple to make, and they can be a dinner food, they can be an appetizer, a snack, anything like that, depending on how you make them. We like them served with a side of sauce to dip in, usually like a traditional plain sort of spaghetti sauce or pizza sauce, something like that. And you heat your Roni roll up and dip it, okay? They're good cold though, so they are very versatile. Now, what you need to make a pepperoni roll, you need white bread dough, and you can either make your own white bread dough. I'm using, of course, my Mary Mac Bakehouse white bread mix, and that makes about 1.5 pounds of dough, so that makes a few pepperoni rolls. You can also use the very popular Rhodes frozen white bread dough that you can get in any grocery store freezer. And if you're going to use that, what you want to do is just thaw it and use it from there. You don't have to let it rise. So as soon as it's thawed, you can roll it out and make your pepperoni rolls. There's a little trick to making pepperoni rolls, and that is once you have made your roll, don't let it rise. You want to get your roll done, get it on your pan, maybe give it a 5-minute rest before you put it in the oven, and then bake it. Because if you let them rise, they get really enormous and have giant air pockets in them. Not that that's a terrible thing, but they're better when they're compact, a nice little compact roll. Okay, so first what you're going to do, we do two ways of pepperoni rolls in our family. I have individuals that I make, and then I make a great big one that you can slice up. So like if we're having people over, or if I want to take one to someone, when you're taking food to someone for whatever reason, make a big pepperoni roll, slice it into about 1.5 inch strips, and then you have a whole bunch of a nice size thing to use for an appetizer. So here we go. First, starting with your dough, you want to take a piece that's about, I usually say about the size of a softball. So baseball, softball, in between the size of a baseball and a softball, about that much dough. Okay, and we're going to spread that out and make a rectangle with it. This will be an individual sized pepperoni roll. So as you can see, we're going to have a piece about, hopefully when I get done, about 6 by 8, 8 by 10, whatever. So you got a nice little rectangle of bread dough there. Now you're going to take some pepperoni, and this is the type of pepperoni that I prefer to use. It's the type that you would buy for on pizza, pre-sliced. You can also get this in a deli. This came from Arlington Market, and have it sliced nice and thin for on pizza. Okay, you can use sandwich pepperoni, but I don't like it as well because it's really big and it's kind of different to work with. So you're going to make, you're going to cover most of your piece, leaving this strip up here open at the top for sticking it together, and leave about 1/2 inch at each side for also sticking it together, sealing it. And you're going to cover this with pepperoni, about 3 rolls. Three rows usually does it. Okay, and now your cheese. You can use mozzarella or provolone or a mixture of both. This is just regular old shredded mozzarella. And cover your pepperoni with cheese. You don't want to put too much cheese in there. That's good like that, where you can just see the pepperoni through it. Now we're going to roll it up. So what I do is I roll it, then I bring the side in and pinch it, and then roll it again, bring the side in and pinch it, roll it again, and now we're going to pinch it the whole way down. And there's our pepperoni roll. Okay? Seal it up extra tight. They will pop open. Don't panic if they do. It's just a thing that happens. And then I put it seam side down on the pan. So from one of my loaves of dough, you can get two big Roni rolls or about 6 small Roni rolls. So we'll make a couple of small ones on here. I grabbed more dough. That's probably too much. It's a little too much. Okay, so there we go. Now your dough sometimes will not want to stretch out for you. This is not unusual because it'll start building up its proteins, and then it wants to be like, I'm going right back where I was. But just fight it. Just fight the dough. You'll win. So we're going to cover that again with pepperoni. Okay. This is really nice pepperoni. I'll tell you one thing. Get nice pepperoni when you make these, because if you get real fatty pepperoni, it makes them very greasy. And not that that's a terrible thing, but it can be a little bit messier than you would like. So now I saw some recipes when I was looking online for pepperoni rolls, and one thing I can say is I don't put sauce in mine. Sauce can be a big mess. So if you put sauce in it, sometimes it'll leak out or it'll make the dough get soggy. And that is not a good thing. You don't want that. So see, again, we're rolling and pinching. Rolling and pinching. These are great for college kids to send to your kids because, you know, the pepperoni is dried, and it will not spoil because it's going to be baked in there, and the cheese, of course. So you just wrap them up real good in plastic wrap and ship them to your favorite college student. That's fun. They're great for school lunch. My son used to love these. I would make them and put them in the freezer because he could come home from school and grab one real quick and eat it because he was always starving to death. So there's that. Now, we're going to set these aside for now. Now we're going to make a large size one. A nice big, I could probably get one more small one out, but I'm not going to because I'm just going to make a really great big giant one. Okay, so these are, like I said, nice for a party. If you're having people over, or if you want to take food to a friend or something like that, this is a nice thing to do. And like I said, you can get 2 of them out of one of those packages of dough. And I should have got my rolling pin out, but I'll just keep fighting it. You can use a rolling pin. Sometimes that works better. Sometimes it doesn't, though. So, you know, always the fighting with the dough. Okay, I give up. So now I'm going to put my pepperoni on. It's the same thing, just like the little one, except more. These are nice too for, like, if your kids are having a birthday party, or if you have to take something to a party. Just make a couple of pepperoni rolls and a side of sauce, and great thing to take along. They travel really well. People like them. So if you've never had one, you know, you'll have to try these out. And if you live in a part of the country where you can't get pepperoni rolls, please, please do not pay hundreds of dollars to have them shipped to you. Because like you can probably see, this goes pretty quick. So it's not like it's an all-day affair. The longest thing you have to do is wait for the dough to rise. So that's not even that long. It took 45 minutes. While you're doing that, you can get your other stuff ready. You know, and I always laugh because people will say to me, I can't get Roni Rolls where I live. I mean, my daughter in Harrisburg can't get Roni Rolls. In Harrisburg, which is 4 hours to the east of us. In 4 hours, you can't get a pepperoni roll. So they'd probably ruin it in Harrisburg anyway. So, okie dokie. Now we'll put some cheese on there. These also freeze really well too, so you can make. If you wanted to do a day of, you know, baking them to prep for something, you could bake them, have them in the freezer, and just get them and thaw them out, and they're ready to go, which is the thing that I have done forever. As I said, my son would like to eat them. I sent them to my daughter when she was in college, and occasionally I still do now. She needs pepperoni rolls. I send her pepperoni rolls, so I'll do a big bake and either freeze them for when I see her or mail them out, whichever. Okay, and it's the same thing as you do with the little one. You're going to just pinch that dough up on there. Make sure you got it pinched pretty good. I'm sure when I get these out of the oven, you will see that they have split open because I'm just lucky that way, and today is my lucky day. So here you go. We're going to put that up here. See how long it is? It takes up my whole big pan. Woo, but that is going to be delicious. That should feed 2 people. Okay, we're going to bake these and then we'll come back. Okay, and here's our finished pepperoni rolls. These are our small rolls. As you can see, they rose a little, but not very much. And this is our big roll. Look at that monster. That might feed a family of maybe 4 people or 2 really, really hungry people. So I'm going to slice this for you so you can see what it looks like inside. And then this is just regular old Prego traditional sauce. I always have a couple jars of that handy for emergencies. This is an emergency. So here we go. We'll slice it in the middle just to show you what it looks like inside. So here we are inside of our pepperoni roll. You can see the pepperoni, the delicious gooey mozzarella, and the bread rose somewhat, but not a lot. So it's not like a super bready thing. So now when you want to serve this, you would just slice it into pieces about of this size, and you can arrange them around your sauce or whatever on a platter, and poof, you've got a delightful snack, dinner, party treat, whatever you like. So there you go. Mary Mac Bakehouse pepperoni rolls. Give them a try. I know you'll love them.